Graduation day. I stood next to my sister, same graduation gown. The joy should have been complete, but they said, "She deserves it. You don't." That day, their faces turned pale seeing me, not just graduating, but radiant. I am Emma Wilson, 24 years old, raised in suburban Michigan, where white fences and family photos hid the cracks. My parents, Robert and Diana, were an accountant and a teacher, financially stable. But my sister Lily was always the light. Blonde hair, smart, graceful, their golden girl. I, on the other hand, was the shadow. Christmas, Lily got expensive toys, I got socks, discount craft kits. "She needs encouragement for her talent," Mom said when I asked at 8. I swallowed the pain, learned to stay silent. Lily's science fair, the whole family took time off, built a grand model. My art display? Mom came for 15 minutes on her lunch break. "Art is just a hobby, Emma," Dad said. "It won't take you far." Only Grandma Eleanor saw me. That summer at the lake house, she sat with me painting water, trees. "You see the world in a special way," she said. "Don't let anyone dim your light." Her little library opened books about entrepreneurs overcoming odds. I started dreaming, not just to survive, but to prove the worth no one saw. In high school, I built resilience. Joined business club, excelled in math and economics. Sophomore year, I won the regional business plan competition. Mr. Rivera called my parents, praising me. "That's nice," Mom said on the phone. "Did you help Lily with her history project? She presents tomorrow." Junior year, I worked at a cafe, kept a 4.0 GPA, saved up, knowing I'd be on my own. Lily joined debate team, their shining star. They attended every match, hosted celebration dinners. By senior year, we both got into Westfield University. Business for me, political science for Lily. At dinner, I beamed. I got into Westfield business. Dad glanced up from his phone. "Good, Emma." Lily burst in, waving her letter. I got into political science. Everyone left the table, popped champagne, celebrated Lily. Same achievement, but I was invisible. 2 weeks later, rare family dinner together, Dad said, "Let's talk college plans." His eyes turned to Lily. "We've saved for you since you were little. Westfield's expensive, but you'll be covered." Lily glowed. I waited. Silence stretched. "What about me?" I asked quietly. The room turned cold. My parents exchanged looks. "Emma," Dad said slowly, "we only have enough for one. Lily has more academic potential. Investing in her will yield better returns." Mom touched my hand. "You've always been independent. You could take a loan or start at community college." The next words carved deep. "She deserves it. You don't." I locked myself in my room, tears spilling. 17 years trying to win their approval. 4.0 GPA, awards, Westfield admission, meant nothing. I was never enough. Not once. Next morning, eyes swollen, I faced them. "Why fund Lily?" "Not me," Mom sighed, stirring coffee. "Resources are limited. We chose practicality." "I have higher grades than Lily," I said. "I work, I study. Why doesn't that count?" Dad folded his paper. "Lily focuses on academics. You split time with work, your business ideas are risky." "You never even asked my plans," I whispered. Mom cut in. "We'll help you apply for loans. Many students support themselves." Their minds were made. I was less worthy, less promising, less valuable. That weekend, I drove to Grandma Eleanor's 2 hours away. I told her everything, cried. She held my hand. "They're wrong about you. Deeply wrong, but you have something they don't see. Unbreakable will." She couldn't help with money, but gave me fierce belief. "Promise me you'll go to Westfield," she said. "Don't let their limits become yours." That night, I decided I would go to Westfield with Lily, fund it myself, graduate no matter what. I searched for scholarships, grants, jobs, loans. Miss Chen, the school counselor, stayed late, helped me apply for 25 scholarships. "Few are as determined as you," she said. Small scholarships didn't cover Westfield's tuition. With federal and private loans, Grandma Eleanor co-signed. I had enough for year one. Lily stayed in a pricey dorm, parents paid. I found a tiny apartment 45 minutes away, shared with 3 roommates. I worked 2 jobs, cafe mornings, bookstore weekends. My parents bought Lily supplies, laptop, room decor, hired movers. I packed into an old suitcase, grocery boxes. Mom handed me old bed sheets. The only sign they noticed I was also going to college. On move-in day, they drove Lily in an SUV packed full. I drove a rattling Honda. No one checked it before my 2-hour trip. On move-in day, my parents waved goodbye to Lily at the gates of the fancy dorm. I drove on, alone, to a rundown apartment. Mom called out, "Good luck, Emma." Hope everything's okay. The doubt in her voice turned to steel in my resolve. The apartment had peeling paint, broken pipes, unfamiliar roommates. That first night, lying on a thin mattress, the sound of traffic and neighbors arguing echoing, I was exhausted. Could I work 30 hours a week and study full-time? Would financial pressure crush me? My phone lit up. A message from Grandma Eleanor. Diamonds are made under pressure, my dear. You already shine. I wiped my tears and built a strict schedule. Study, work, minimal sleep, no social life. The financial aid office became my second home. Miss Winters, the assistant director, listened to my story and said, "It's a heavy load, but you can carry it. Promise me you'll come to me before you burn out." That promise became a lifeline. The day before classes, Miss Chen called. Teachers pooled $1,000 for a scholarship. Not much, but we believe in you. The kindness from those who saw my worth pushed me past the final line. I added the money to my spreadsheet, feeling resolve hardened like steel. Freshman year was a storm. While others enjoyed college freedom, I raced against time. Up at 5 a.m., studied 2 hours, morning cafe shift, classes, bookstore until midnight. Sleep was a luxury. I read textbooks on the bus, did homework on breaks, recorded lectures to listen to while cleaning the espresso machine. Every minute calculated, every resource stretched. Lily, meanwhile, lived carefree. Sorority parties, study abroad, weekend dinners at home. I counted whether I had enough for books or groceries that month. But something unexpected happened. Business classes weren't just manageable, I thrived. A year of work and budgeting gave me an edge. While others struggled in accounting, I applied it to real life. Professor Bennett, who taught business ethics, held me back after class. Your analysis of resource allocation was sharp, far beyond your years. Where did that come from? I smiled faintly, from living through choices that weren't made for me. The fatigue began to fade, replaced by confidence. Then I met Zoe, a roommate who changed everything. She left food in the fridge labeled for me. One night, I came home drained. She waited with tea. "You can't keep doing this. You'll burn out before finals." I told her everything. Zoe was furious on my behalf. "That's not right. From now on, I'm your college family." Zoe edited my papers when I was too tired to see straight, made flashcards, protected my study hours. When she found out I was skipping meals to save money, she cooked for both of us, refused payment beyond help with coursework. "Family takes care of each other," she said. "Sometimes the family you choose matters more than the one you're born into." Midway through sophomore year, the cafe cut my hours. Income dropped 40%. My budget collapsed, rent and tuition looming. Panicked, I remembered Miss Winter's words and scheduled an urgent meeting. "Your academic record qualifies you for emergency funding," she said, "and Professor Bennett recommended you for a research assistant role." Working with Professor Bennett was a turning point. I studied small business resilience, flexible hours, intellectually stimulating. One afternoon, while analyzing data, she asked, "Have you considered becoming an entrepreneur? Your insight on creativity under constraint is remarkable." A seed from Grandma Eleanor's library sprouted. Using marketing and digital skills, I launched a virtual assistant platform for small businesses. By night, I built the website, packaged services from research. By junior year, the small venture earned enough to quit the bookstore job. I kept the research role for mentorship under Professor Bennett. Between the business, grants, and loans, I reached fragile financial stability. In business strategy class, I spoke up, shared real experience. Professors took notice, classmates asked for my input. The invisible girl had become a respected voice. Lily and I kept in light contact. She invited me to sorority parties, school events, but I declined, too busy working. We avoided speaking about the gap, her easy life, my constant struggle. Our parents called Lily weekly. I got texts on holidays or during family emergencies. One Thanksgiving, Mom wrote, "Miss you at the dinner table. Understand you're busy with a project." The ellipsis said everything about how they viewed me. But my achievements couldn't be ignored. Dean's List every term, department awards, invited to present at a regional business conference. Each milestone affirmed I was on the right path, maybe more than Lily ever was. By the end of junior year, my virtual assistant business became a digital marketing agency serving clients across the state. I hired 2 part-time student workers, turning classroom theory into real growth. Revenue covered costs and allowed me to pay off a few small loans early. Professor Bennett nominated me for the Distinguished Entrepreneurial Scholarship, full tuition for senior year. You deserve it, she said. Your story embodies our school's entrepreneurial spirit. The financial weight eased. The future I dreamed from Grandma Eleanor's lake house began to unfold. I didn't know it yet, but my success had spread through the business department, planting seeds for a graduation surprise. By senior year, my company had 15 clients and 4 student employees. A local startup magazine featured me, bringing in new clients and a reputation beyond campus. Academics placed me among the top students in the department. In October, Professor Bennett handed me a flyer, the National Business Innovation Competition, first prize $50,000 and major industry recognition. Your company targeting rural businesses has great potential, she said. I sharpened my pitch, practiced presentations, advanced through 3 rounds to the finals in April, 1 month before graduation. At the same time, Lily struggled with her political science thesis. On a Tuesday night, she knocked on my door, red-eyed, holding her laptop. I failed my seminar. My research method was wrong. I have 3 weeks to fix it or I won't graduate. I wrestled with myself. Part of me called it justice for years of favoritism, but a larger part saw a chance to move past old pain. Come in, I said. Let's take a look. That night, I guided her through proper research methods, thanks to my experience with Professor Bennett. In the nights that followed, we finally spoke honestly. How did you do it all? Lily asked. The company, grades, research. I can barely manage school. I told her 60-hour work weeks, skipped meals, sleepless nights. She stared, stunned. I didn't know. Mom and Dad said you were fine. Fine is relative, I replied. I didn't have a choice. You never said anything? I did. But what would have changed? I asked. Didn't they invest in you? That conversation reconnected us. Lily declined expensive gifts from our parents. She wanted to earn things like I had. In January, her thesis gained traction, and she found a new discipline. My capstone project drew attention from the board. In February, Dean Rodriguez called me in. Your journey is extraordinary, self-funded, company-built, top academics. We want you to speak at graduation, representing the business school. A chance to showcase my success before my parents and the entire university, the summit I had worked for. I accepted immediately. In April, I won the business competition. My pitch turned limitations into competitive advantages. The campus paper published a photo of me receiving the giant check. I mailed it to Grandma Eleanor. She called, crying with pride, I always knew you were special. My parents didn't mention the award. Their silence no longer hurt me. 2 weeks before graduation, they arrived, rented a large house to throw Lily a family party. I received a half-hearted invite, like an afterthought. Sure, you're busy, Mom said when I asked about the family dinner, but come if you're free. It stung, but not like before. My worth no longer depended on them. The night before the ceremony, Grandma Eleanor gave me a graduation stole embroidered with "Diamonds are made under pressure." Wear it with pride, she said. You've earned every thread. That evening, Dean Rodriguez whispered, there's a surprise tomorrow. Get ready to shine. At the family dinner, my parents boasted about Lily. Uncle Jack interrupted, and Emma? Heard she won something big. Dad brushed it off. Oh, Emma's busy with some startup project. Grandma Eleanor pulled them into the hallway, tense. I didn't hear what she said, but I knew she was defending me. Graduation morning, the sky was clear as if celebrating me. Lily texted, Congrats, sis, graduating with you, so proud. Simple words, a sign of our new bond. I wore my new dress, confident shoes, and Grandma stole. Zoe drove me. Madam CEO, your carriage awaits. At the ceremony, I spotted my parents in the front row, eyes on Lily. Grandma Eleanor looked at me, nodded with fierce pride. When my name was called, she whistled through the applause. Lily gave me a thumbs up. After diplomas were handed, President Harlow said, We have a special recognition. Please welcome Emma Wilson from the business school to the podium. I stepped up. For the first time, my parents truly looked at me, confused. I took a breath. 4 years ago, I came to Westfield with only determination and belief that education must be earned. I worked 30 hours a week, studied full-time, built a company, and graduated with honors. Being underestimated taught me that others' limits don't define me. I spoke of resilience, defining success on my own terms. I never mentioned my parents, but they understood. Thunderous applause followed. President Harlow added, Emma Wilson is the business school valedictorian, 4.0 GPA, founder of a six-figure company. She won the National Business Innovation Competition, bringing prestige to our school. The crowd roared. Few know, he continued, Emma paid her own tuition, worked multiple jobs without family support. The auditorium fell silent, then rose in a standing ovation. My parents went pale, realizing everyone now knew they had abandoned me. Emma has accepted an offer from Alexander Global Consulting, he announced, and will be featured on the cover of Business Innovation magazine. Lily cried, clapping wildly. Grandma Eleanor beamed. To honor her, we are creating the Emma Wilson Resilience Scholarship for students who overcome hardship. Victory complete. My name now stood for lifting others, something my parents never did for me. After the ceremony, my parents stood awkwardly. Dad forced a smile. Wow, Emma, what a surprise. You kept us in the dark. No, I said coldly. I was always me. You just didn't look. Lily hugged me. You're amazing. They were wrong about you. The business school party sparkled. Zoe, professors, classmates celebrated with me. Jennifer Alexander, founder of Alexander Global, shook my hand. You're exactly who we're looking for. Top of class, real-world experience. Lily's jaw dropped. You're joining Alexander Global? That's elite. Professor Bennett handed me the entrepreneurship award and shared my journey. Mom texted, inviting me to a family dinner. Grandma Eleanor scoffed. Too late to be proud parents now. I went anyway. The rented house. My parents tried small talk, but Uncle Jack asked, why didn't you mention Emma's award? Lily spoke up. They favored me, ignored Emma. They were wrong. Mom teared up. Dad turned red. Dinner was tense, but the extended family recognized me. Dad offered help with my apartment deposit. Thanks, I replied, but my $90,000 starting salary covers it. The number stunned him, more than he earned. Lily invited me to spend a few days with Grandma Eleanor. I said yes, building a new family, Grandma, Lily, Zoe, the people who saw my worth. My parents tried to reconnect after graduation, admitted their mistakes. We underestimated you, Mom said. We want to make it right. I agreed to rebuild a relationship based on who I truly am. That summer, I worked at Alexander Global, managed my company remotely. Grandma Eleanor gave me a silver bracelet. A woman's worth comes from within, not from others' judgment. A year later, I established the First Generation Achievement Scholarship at Westfield for students overcoming hardship. The first recipient was a girl working 2 jobs, studying accounting, caring for a sibling, just like I once was. My parents attended the announcement. Their eyes held not only regret, but real pride. You turned pain into purpose, Mom said. That's rare. But I had learned my value never needed their validation. It had always been there, just waiting for them to see. Lily and I built a true sisterhood, beyond comparison. Have you fully forgiven them? She asked, watching the sunset from a hilltop. Forgiveness, I said, is letting go of the expectation that the past could be different. I haven't forgotten what they said, but I don't let it define my future. Being underestimated was my greatest gift. It forced me to become resilient, independent, relentless, the foundation of a success they never imagined. Your worth doesn't need anyone's approval. It exists, even if no one sees it. If you've ever been dismissed, don't wait for recognition. Build your own path, like I did, and rise beyond their limited vision. What will you choose?